I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always.
And now, Mike's thoughts. Gardner Minshew. That's right, Gardner Minshew, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Gardner Minshew will be named starter again going into week 4. As you guys know, he was benched late last week in the loss to the Carolina Panthers for the Las Vegas Raiders. But AP sources say that Gardner Minshew will be starter moving forward. So we got to thinking about Gardner Minshew. Look at that man's face. That man's face is just a beautiful piece of meat that I just want to pinch and she can say, oh, you're so cute. But there is infatuation with Gardner Minshew. Ever since he was a Jacksonville Jaguar, people loved this man. I don't know if it was the shorty shorts. I don't know if it was the mustache. I don't know if it was the long hair. They loved this man. And John Pebbles is one of the men that loves this man. So I got to sit back and got to thinking here. Gardner Minshew has had to have had a good NFL career, right? He's had to have some nice little wins under his belt, potentially lead some people to the playoffs. Now, when you look at Gardner Minshew, 2019 was his first season in the NFL. He had a 60% completion percentage that particular year, 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Not too shabby for a rookie. And if I remember correctly, he was kind of thrown in the fire that particular year as well. 2020 comes rolling around, COVID year. He is 66% completion percentage, 2,200 yards, 16 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. But then the Jaguars like, nah, it's time for you to move on. Hello, Philadelphia Eagles backup to Jalen Hurts. Actually, it was a backup to Carson Wentz, if I'm not mistaken, actually, that first year. 430 yards passing, 4 touchdowns to 1 interception. Next year, he was a backup quarterback as well. 600 yards passing, 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And then last season, he did go to the Indianapolis Colts. Did not start, but came in week 4 in relief. Had a 3,300-yard season, 15 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So far this season for the Las Vegas Raiders, he has 747 yards, 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So let me ask you guys this question. Why do you love Gardner Minshew? Really sit back and rattle your mind. Why do people like Gardner Minshew? Is it the swagger? Is it the gameplay? Is it the gamemanship? Why do you love Gardner Minshew? I love to hate the man. I love to hate the man. It was Sue Boston Colmsey saying, oh, if Gardner Minshew goes to the playoffs, I'm just going to draft him first in my fantasy league every year, yada, yada, yada. He hasn't done shit. Yes. He did almost lead the Colts to the playoffs. Yes. He almost led to the Colts to the playoffs. Yes. I know he almost led the Colts to the playoffs, but he didn't. I almost got elected mayor of or governor of Indiana. Almost. But seriously, guys, why do you like Gardner Minshew? Question of the day. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Hey.
Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? Let's go.
Or manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check the blog section as well. But most importantly, share the live feed with some friends. Sharing is caring at the end of the day. Hit that share button. Share it to your feed, share it to some groups, share it to a Discord. Hell, share it to your mama. I shared it to my mama, and she's watching right now. What's up, mama? But with that being said, guys, we got to welcome some people into the chat here. We got to welcome Laura Johnson Hedrick into the chat. And she says, good afternoon, Buck. Good afternoon, Laura. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. And she also says, almost doesn't count. You're right, Laura. Almost doesn't count unless you're playing with atomic bombs, horseshoes, or hand grenades. Because I can almost hit the horseshoe pen, and I'm still going to win. I can almost hit that bullseye with an atomic bomb, and I'm going to win. I can almost blow off your hand with this grenade, and I'm going to win. But yes, almost doesn't count. Almost doesn't count. John Pell was in the chat as well. He's the beautiful pigskin punter here. He clicked on the subscribe button on the link below. He's got some free merch. He's got access to the live streams, and most importantly, he's got free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems for a grand prize of $2,000. Some dollar bills, yo. We also give away weekly prizes as well. This week we are giving away another NFL jersey, and John says he likes Gardner Minshew because of his outlook. He's positive. He likes a positive Nancy. Yeah. And speaking of pigskin punter, Jim Powell, the CFO of the pigskin punter, is in the chat as well. He says hand grenades. Yeah, Jim. I can almost hit you with a hand grenade. I'm probably going to blow your ass up. It is what it is. It is what it is. But guys, it is Wednesday. It is buy or sell Wednesday. We are going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings again, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. Are we buying those three teams? Are we selling those three teams? We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about those three undefeated teams, buying or selling those. But we got to start with the title text segment of today's show. We have to start with the title segment of today's show, and we haven't really been talking a lot about this team because, they've been kind of flying under the radar. I'm a homer. I'm a little bit of this. I'm a little bit of that. But you know what? I got to sit back and I got to thinking. And we need to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. We need to talk about my Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I understand that the refs helped them win. Yes, I understand everybody and their dog is now a hater of the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you are a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, you have been now named a bandwagon fan. I get it. Whatever. It is what it is. Haters make us famous, right, babies? Haters make us famous. So with that being said, guys, I got to ask the question. The title segment of today's show, the question is, who can stop the Chiefs' three-peat chances? Legitimately. Anybody in the AFC, who can stop the Kansas City Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl this season in 2024? Because when you look at it, right now the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-0. They are a 3-0 record. They have wins over the Falcons, a really good game. They have a win over the Cincinnati Bengals, really good game to watch wise. And of course, they do have a toe-tapping win over the Baltimore Ravens as well. All really good wins on the surface. But when you look at it, when you really look at the Kansas City Chiefs so far this season, this 2024 season, very young NFL season, Patrick Mahomes is missing throws, right? Patrick Mahomes is missing throws that he normally hits. On the rollout to the left, and Rashid Rice he kind of sidearmed in the air. He missed that throw. Normally, Patrick Mahomes hits that throw. So that tells me that Patrick Mahomes is not clicking on all cylinders right now. But yet the Chiefs are still 3-0. Travis Kelce this season Have you heard much about him all season? Nope. Because he has 8 catches for 69 yards. 69. 8 catches for 69 yards. Kind of lying in the shadows, kind of feels disappointed, feel let down on the sideline. He's not clicking all cylinders. Is it the off-season interactions that he's had with the Swifties? Is it a little bit of this? Is it a little bit of that? Or maybe just Father Time. But right now, Travis Kelce's not clicking on all cylinders. But yet, the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-0. Ajay Pacheco broke his leg. Game number 2 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. He's out for another 7 weeks, more than likely. Obviously, one of the biggest ground threats in the Kansas City Chiefs team right now. Yes, they did activate Kareem Hunt today to the 53-man roster, so we're going to see a little bit of Kareem Hunt moving forward, potentially. But without Ajay Pacheco, Kansas City Chiefs are still 3-0. And did you guys forget that the Kansas City Chiefs signed Hollywood Brown this offseason? Yeah, they did. Arguably, one of the biggest free agents out there this offseason hasn't set foot on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs yet. But yet the Chiefs are still 3-0. Oh, and it gets better. It gets better. The defense, the top 5 defense all last season, right? High-flying defense, shut down everybody. Whatever it is what it is. Guess what? That defense right now ranked 25th. Kansas City Chiefs defense is ranked 25th overall in the NFL going into week 4. 25th. That is a far cry from a top 5 defense right now. They're giving up 361 yards per game. Ouch. Oh, it gets even better than that. The offense is ranked 26th in third down conversions. It gets better than that. They are 22nd in red zone conversions. They are under 44% in red zone conversions, but yet the Kansas City Chiefs are still 3-0. Mahomes is not firing all cylinders. Travis Kelce is lost. Ajay Pacheco is on IR. Hollywood Brown is on IR. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on IR. Defense is ranked 25th, 22nd in red zone scoring, 26th in third down conversions, but yet they're still 3-0. All that, they're still 3-0. And it's not like they played a cupcake schedule. They played the Ravens. They played the Bengals. They played the Falcons. Now, many people were kind of down on the Falcons. I was one of them. I was like, the Falcons, easy-ass win, right? Falcons aren't that bad. So we got to ask the question, guys, who can legitimately derail the Kansas City Chiefs in this 2024 NFL season on a quest for a three-peat? Who can do it? And I got to sit back and I got to thinking, who can do it? Carson Lang, are you in here today, my man? My brother from another mother, where you at, brother? My man says the Buffalo Bills can derail the Kansas City Chiefs. Carson Lang thinks the Buffalo Bills can derail the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. And I believe it was John earlier says, history shows that they're great during the regular season, but postseason, they shit the bed. Exactly, 100%. Bills, Ravens, whatever, right? But when you look at the Buffalo Bills right now, they arguably have the best team or be the best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen right now is the best quarterback in the NFL. Give me him over Mahomes. Give me him over Lamar. Give me him over Tua, Dak, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. Give me Josh Allen 10 out of 10 times and twice on Sunday. Josh Allen right now is the best quarterback in the NFL. But do I think the Buffalo Bills can derail the Kansas City Chiefs right now going for a three-peat? No. Because had the Buffalo Bills even been to an AFC Championship game since, 93 or whatever it was? Had the Buffalo Bills ever made any noise in the playoffs ever? I know it's history. I know we got a new team. We got a new coach. We're building a new stadium, yada, yada, yada. The simple fact of the matter is you got to put up or shut up. And right now, you all better shut up because the Buffalo Bills are not beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Then I started thinking other teams around the league. Baltimore Ravens, They're like, oh, that was your best shot. You better not want to see us in the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. It's week 1. Everybody should be playing their worst football come week 1. Everybody should be playing some of their best football toward the end of the season. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens have it in them this season, to be honest. I don't think the Buffalo Ravens want to see any part of the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. At all. I don't think they do. But for a team to come up and stop the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat in the AFC side of things, I think it is going to be a sleeper team. I think it is going to be a team that nobody expects coming. A team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. A team potentially like the Los Angeles Chargers. A team potentially like the, do I dare say it, New York Jets. For any teams to stop the Kansas City Chiefs from three-peat, they're going to have to come up and sneak up on the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to have to come up and they're going to have to sneak up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in the playoffs, that's obviously going to be tough. But if the Kansas City Chiefs get a number 2 seed, they got to play that wild card, that opening round. Potentially, the 7th seed, whether it be the New York Jets, the Pittsburgh Steelers, potentially the LA Chargers, that is a time that you're going to sneak up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as far as NFC teams beating them in the Super Bowl, I'm not for sure if the NFC team is built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's going to have to come from the AFC. So, guys, answer the question in the comment below. Who do you think can legitimately derail the Kansas City Chiefs this season from a three-peat pending? On the top of my head, I'm going to put out 4 teams out there that have the possibility, starting from the best possibility to kind of the worst possibility, right? Number 1 is going to be the Buffalo Bills. AFC, John. AFC teams. Number 1, I think it's got to be the Buffalo Bills. I think they are the most shaped, the most built, the most ready to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Next up is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a really good defense. We're going to talk a lot about the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up here on Buy or Sell. Next up is going to be the New York Football Jets. If the Jets continue to get better and better and better, they can sneak up on the Kansas City Chiefs and overtake that throne, right? And fourthly, I think it's going to be a divisional team. I think it's going to be a team like the LA Chargers. Maybe the Raiders. If they make it to the playoffs, maybe the Raiders. But those are my four teams right now. The Bills, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Chargers. Those are the 4 teams that I think can legitimately derail the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl three-peat chance in the AFC. So let's go over here and jump into the comments here. Yada, yada, yada. Laura says the Vikings can. The Vikings can derail the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But I'm an NFC. My kiddo says the Bengals, did they get their stuff together? Listen, the Bengals are a team that I don't know what to do with them, to be honest with you. The Bengals are a team that they stepped up and they played the Kansas City Chiefs well. They did. They played well against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they did play well versus the Commanders. I believe it was the first game in 84 years that neither team turned the ball over or punted all game. Now, I'm not saying the Commanders are a great team. We'll be talking more about the Commanders tomorrow. Actually, probably should have put them on Buy or Sell. Right now, they're ranked first in the AFC East at 2-1 record. But I don't think the Commanders are nothing to bat an eye about, but they're definitely not on a level of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals right now are just a struggling team, a struggling franchise. They're struggling to find their mojo, I think. Lynette Hunt, it says, McDermott swears he has been reincarnated, that 15 Panthers team up there in Buffalo. We will see. So the 2015 Buffalo or Carolina Panthers was the year that Cam Newton went what, they were 16-1, right? Went to the Super Bowl, got their asses kicked in the Super Bowl. But the Buffalo Bills are a good team. Obviously, the team is going to go as far as the best quarterback in the league takes him, Josh Allen. And I think Josh Allen is just not built to win postseason games yet. I don't mean he's built to win, but I don't think his mindset's ready to win it. If that makes sense. Receiver young, the receiver core is still pretty young as well. So they still got a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to go. John think he's thinking about the Diddy parties. No Diddy over here. Casey says the Chiefs have time to get that offense going. Defense is starting to get it in gear. If the Chief offense starts to clicking, not many teams are going to stop them. So this is what has been great about the Kansas City Chiefs the last, let's say, 6 seasons. Ever since Spagnuolo has been the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, this has kind of been the MO, right? The defense normally starts slow. Then about week 9, week 10, they figure it out, they click, and they become a top 5, top 10 defense in the last half of the season. This is typical Kansas City Chiefs MO. Defense starts slow. Offense is still kind of better than everybody else. And then toward back the end of the season, they all kind of evens out. But Casey, you're right. You are right. If this offense starts to click, if Mahomes starts firing on all 8 cylinders and starts completing those passes that we know he can make and normally does make that he's missing right now, that 25 points per game that they're averaging right now could be up to 30. Even though they're not clicking on all cylinders right now, they're still averaging 25 points a game. Imagine that. And they're only giving up 20. That's a win-win-win. So yeah, Casey, I think you're right. John says there's only one Hollywood, and that's Thomas Henderson. I don't even know who Thomas Henderson is. Jim says the refs could stop them if they quit giving LeBron Mahomes the Tom Brady treatment. And here we go. Jimmy. You're right. You're right. Maybe one day the Raiders can have some type of clout and get a few calls. I don't know. Win some games, earn that respect, then you can get some calls. Get some calls. James Chambers says the Bills ain't stopping nobody but the Bills. Listen, the Bills are the biggest enemy of themselves. There are a few teams in the NFL on any given Sunday that I'm not going to root against. Expect to lose. That's the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Every Sunday, I expect them going into their games, and I expect them to win. But the biggest enemy of all those teams are themselves, right? They usually shoot themselves in the foot. Bada bing, bada boom, it is over. And John thinks the Raiders can stop the Chiefs, and the Lions can stop the Chiefs, and Swizz Worlds in the chat, he thinks the Baltimore Ravens can stop the Chiefs. If the Ravens can make the playoffs, that's a big if. If the Baltimore Ravens can make the playoffs, they could potentially compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. But if that game is at Arrowhead Stadium, I'm going to guarantee that sound decibel record that the Kansas City Chiefs own is going to be broken. Lamar Jackson's going to be deaf by the end of that game. John thinks the Jets, Raiders, Steelers, and Texans have a chance to derail the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. I've kind of written off the Texans, but yeah, I mean, I could see it. James says the Steelers are about it in the AFC. Mahomes can't beat you if he's on the sideline watching the other team grind the clock. Yes. That is how you are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs this season, is keep their defense on the field. I mean the Chiefs defense on the field. Laura says the Jets, I believe, are going to be one of to keep an eye on this year. Just my opinion, though. Listen, the Jets do have a Super Bowl roster built. However, injuries on the defensive side of the ball are starting to add up for the New York Football Jets. They need to bring back Haason Reddick right now. They have 2 defensive ends / linebackers, edge rushers out for the season. What does Haason Reddick play? Edge rusher, defensive end. That is what he plays. So then, if the Jets can bring him back and get him into like in the groove, the Jets have a pretty good shot. Pretty good shot. Someone needs to put serious pressure on Mahomes, and the only person that can do that is probably Max Crosby, TJ Watt, and maybe Myles Garrett. Maybe. No, they can't mental block Baltimore, and CJ Mosley is out as well. John, damn. The Jets got a bunch of injuries starting to pile up on the defensive side of the ball. But, guys, that's the question. That's the question we got to ask. Who can derail the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat right now? It's nobody, baby. It's nobody. Slow it down. Slow it down. Moving on. This is a beautiful Wednesday, guys. Beautiful Wednesday edition here of Man Hour NFL Talk. We did not do a show yesterday because my voice was officially shot between coaching and just being sick in general. Now we're back. I should be 100% for the rest of the season. My wife got me some vitamin D and C. No more treatments, so we are good. We are in cloud nine, baby. It's going to the moon, baby. We are live every Monday through Friday, 2:30 East Coast time. Saturday night, we got the after hour show with Hoffy and Mark D and Combsy, just depending on who wants to show up that particular night. We're just out here talking some shit. But here on Wednesdays, we do a segment called Buy or Sell. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple because if I put out a statement and if you want to buy it, you agree with it. You say, give me some more of that statement, Buck. Give it to me. But if you want to sell, like, no. Hex that. I don't get that out of here. I don't agree with it. Whatever. And Laura says, it's a beautiful Wednesday. It's my 14th year wedding anniversary. Laura, congratulations to 14 years of being married. Congratulations. Me and my wife have been together, 7 years. And it feels like just 2 days ago that we got married. But we're consistently learning about each other and living the dream and just loving life. And 14 years is a long time. Congratulations. And I wish you guys 14 more, 28 more, 57 more. I hope you live until you're 90 and happily married. But happy anniversary to Laura and her beautiful husband out there. But guys, it is time for a little bit of buy or sell. But it's time for a little buy or sell, and we're going to start with the one and only, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are going to start with the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Many people are kind of writing this team off right now. They're saying they're just a fluke. They got lucky, yada, yada, yada. But if you listen to the Man Hour back on August 18th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I said the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to go 9-1 the first 10 games of the season. I actually said they're going to go 4-0. Their first loss going to the Dallas Cowboys. But, guys, are we buying or selling that the Pittsburgh Steelers are actual threats in the AFC? When we say threats, we mean a potential to make it to the Super Bowl, AFC Championship game, winning a game or two in the playoffs. Not just make it, but winning 2 games in the playoffs and beyond. Are they actual threats, buy or sell? And just like I said, from day one, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've liked them ever since they signed Russ and signed Justin Fields as well. I basically said all they had to do is have decent quarterback play, and they were a playoff-bound team. If they had good quarterback play, they were going to win 2 or 3 playoff games. And right now, they are having average quarterback play. Their defense is definitely carrying them. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is ranked first overall defense, just giving up 229 yards a game so far this season. They've only given up 2 touchdowns. They're 5th in passing defense at 158 yards per game and 2nd in rush defense at 71.3 yards per game. When we look at the quarterback play, all that says they had to have average quarterback play to make the playoffs. And right now, that is what they're getting. They're getting average quarterback play. Justin Fields is managing game and being an average quarterback. He's not trying to play out of his mind. So far this season, he has 518 yards passing. That's 27th in the NFL. He has 2 touchdowns. That's it. 2 touchdowns. That's tied for 24th in the NFL. But here's the key. He only has 1 interception so far this season. 1 interception. That's tied for second, along with a slew of other people. But Justin Fields is out there managing game, being an average quarterback, being what the Pittsburgh Steelers need him to be. There's no pressure to go out there and win you games. There's pressure out there just not to lose the games. So, guys, buy or sell the Pittsburgh Steelers' legitimate threats in the AFC. I'm going to have to say buy. This is a buy. Yes, their schedule does get tougher the second half of the season. They have the third hardest schedule from week 10 and beyond. But right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be clicking on all cylinders for the next 8 or 9 weeks. They will be winning a lot of football games for the next 8 or 9 weeks. Coming up, they do play the Dallas Cowboys. They do play the New York Giants and Eagles. They do have a toughest schedule moving over. They got some opponents coming up that are really going to test them. But right now, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a threat in the AFC. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a threat to win the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a threat to make it to the Super Bowl this season. If Justin Fields elevates his play just a little bit higher, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team. Very dangerous. Excuse me. Let's look at the chat here. As people are saying, John says buy. He says buy. Nothing else, nothing less. He says buy. Not in sync, but money. James says buy as well. James, aren't you a Cleveland Browns fan? No, that's the other James. That's James Frank. But James is buying the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. And Laura's buying the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. Across the board, guys, we're loving us some Pittsburgh Steelers. We're loving us some Pittsburgh Steelers this season. Buy. Buy across the board. And I have to agree with you. Buy. Speaking of surprises, the Minnesota Vikings, they are currently 3-0. Minnesota Vikings are currently 3-0. Yes, guys, clear out your ears. Turn up the volume. The Minnesota Vikings are currently 3-0. They have wins over the Houston Texans and the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Football Giants. Not all fluke wins, all dominating wins. They've been really, really good wins so far this season. But on this beautiful Wednesday, buy or sell edition of Man Hour NFL Talk, are the Minnesota Vikings now the front runners to win the NFC North? Are they the front runners to win the NFC North? Buy or sell? When we talk about the Minnesota Vikings, we have to refer to last season. We have to refer to last season and last season's offseason as well. This offseason, the Vikings lost Kirk Cousins. There was a little bit of collusion going on, but they ultimately lost Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. They signed Sam Darnold. Basically, people were like, oh, man, this is terrible. Everybody thought Sam Darnold was done. Sam Darnold was washed up. He was this, and this. He was simply there just to be a figurehead until they drafted a quarterback, a.k.a. J.J. McCarthy, which they drafted him 10th overall. And he was going to just teach him how to be a quarterback, right? Teach him how to be a professional. Teach him how to do this, and this. Spoiler alert, J.J. McCarthy goes down in training camp, and he will be missed all of 2024 NFL season. Sam Darnold has been balling. Sam Darnold has been playing like a comeback player of the season right now. But when we talk about 2023, let's not forget that the Minnesota Vikings, guys, they were in a playoff hunt till the last 4 weeks of the season. Many people, like Laura, are going to remember the last 4 games of the season. 4 losses in a row. Oh, man. We finished 7-10 with 4 losses in a row. Darn it. But those 4 losses were to a Bengals team that was clicking. A Bengals team that finished with 9 wins, a winning record. A loss to the Detroit Lions, a playoff team, by the way, lost to 32-24. Lost to the Green Bay Packers the following week, which is a playoff team, by the way, 33-10. And the final game of the season, lost at the Detroit Lions, which is a playoff team, 32-20. And yes, the Detroit Lions were playing that particular game. They're playing for seeding points, right? They're playing for that 2nd or 3rd seed. But when you guys look at them from the Minnesota Vikings from last season, they had 4 different starting quarterbacks last season. After Kirk Cousins went down with the Achilles injuries, they had 3 different starting quarterbacks 4 total for the NFL season. And oh, by the way, JJ missed most of the season as well. And they were still in the playoff hunt. So is it a shock to me that the Minnesota Vikings are kind of 3-0 right now? Yes, because I did not expect this quarterback play from Sam Darnold. I did not expect Sam Darnold to be first in the NFL in touchdowns with 8. I did not expect him to be first in the NFL with interceptions with just 1. I did not expect him to have the best QBR in the NFL with 73.5. I did not expect Aaron Jones to be balling the way he's balling. And oh, by the way, Jordan Addison hasn't even stepped on the field yet. So buy or sell, guys, with the Minnesota Vikings, the frontrunners of the AFC North. I have to buy this as well. I have to buy this. Many people, myself included, had the Minnesota Vikings kind of a down year. I think I had about 7 wins, 6, 7 wins. We actually had Mike Reeves on, a Minnesota Vikings guy through and through, on their old sports podcast, Twist. He had them at 5 wins. Hell, I believe it was week 12, I had Sam Darnold getting benched for J.J. McCarthy because after the bye week. Guys, many people, myself included, slept on the Minnesota Vikings. It is time to wake up. They are the front runners in the AFC North. They are the front runners to make a potentially deep playoff run. They are the front runners right now to upset a lot of peoples. If you are not buying the Minnesota Vikings right now, you are just a pure hater. You are a pure hater. It's simple as that. My dad's a Detroit Lions fan. He even says, yeah, the Minnesota Vikings are kind of the real deal. Now, I'm not saying they're winning a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're winning a playoff game. I'm not saying they're threats to win the NFC Championship game. I'm not saying that. But they are threats to win the NFC North. They are threats to make it to the playoffs. Guys, you have to buy the Minnesota Vikings right now. And if you're not, give me a reason why not. Give me a reason why not to buy the Minnesota Vikings. Laura says, skull, skull, skull. Skull, skull, skull. And Casey says, buy. Another buy for the Minnesota Vikings. We got to buy some Minnesota Vikings. Buy, 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 buy. I need NSYNC. My kids love NSYNC, by the way. Laura, of course, she's saying buy. But then she says, whoa, slow it down, baby. Let's not talk about last season. I threw that trash end of a season. Listen, even though the Minnesota Vikings lost the last 4 games of the season, it was 2 to the Lions and the Packers, which are playoff teams. And you lost to the Cincinnati Bengals when I believe that was the first week that old, what's his face really started to play and click. Well, forgot their backup, which Jake Browning. He really started coming into his own. So, yeah, 4 losses to end the season last year suck, but you didn't have your starting quarterback. You're on your 4th starting quarterback at that particular time. JJ was out, was shut down, right? Danielle Hunter basically had a foot out the door anyways. I don't know. Laura says Darnold is a sleeper that everyone slept on for years. And I disagree with that. Sam Darnold was a bad quarterback in New York. Sam Darnold was a bad quarterback in Carolina. He got a little bit better in San Francisco, and now he's really, really good in Minnesota. What is the difference between New York, Carolina, San Francisco, and Minnesota? It's coaching. It's coaching. That's what it comes down to. It is coaching. Coaching in old New York was terrible. He was sent there basically to say, hey, lead us to the championship, man, but I don't know how to get you there. We'll follow you. Carolina, who really knows what's going on in Carolina? Was Matt Rule the quarterback or the coach at that time? Matt Rule's he's doing great in Nebraska, but for whatever reason, NFL is not his thing. Like Nick Saban, right? NFL was just like, Ugh, gross. Sam Darnold has had some coaching. Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan, some good coaching, and he's looking like a decent quarterback. If he keeps this up, he might be a top 10 quarterback to end the season. He might be top 5. Might be. Let's see here. Pepe's in the chat. He says the Bills wrecked the Jags worse than Amber Heard's bed sheets. Well, Pepe, I believe it was Johnny Depp's sheets that Amber Heard wrecked. Oh man, was it about this time last year when that trial was on TV? I watched every second of that trial. There were 2 really good trials that I watched last season on YouTube, like Law and Order TV or something like that. It was the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp one. That was really, really, really good. And then the forgot the guy's name, but he drove his truck through the parade in Minnesota. That was, I mean, obviously I think he ended up killing 3 people, right? Or 4 people. But the court was fun to watch. It was very entertaining, right? Tremaine's in the chat. He says the NFL trying to make sure the Chiefs repeat. You have to blow the Chiefs and the refs to win. Well, Tremaine, we already talked about this, but there are 4 teams that potentially could stop the Chiefs repeat. I said it was the Steelers, the Buffalo Bills, the Jets, and the Chargers. Those are the only 4 teams that I think could potentially stop the Chiefs repeat right now. Who do you think can stop the Chiefs repeat? And don't say they stopped paying the refs or whatever. Give me a legitimate answer. Come on. James Frank, speaking of Chicago or Cleveland Browns, he's in the chat. He says, does it count if they just won it, make it to the Super Bowl? I think the Bucs could beat them in the Super Bowl if they make it. Baker almost beat them in the playoffs a few years ago on my squad. So are you referring to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Yeah, I mean, I was talking strictly AFC teams. What AFC team could derail the Chiefs making it into the playoffs? But if you look at the NFC, right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could potentially stop that repeat from happening. John said the Detroit Lions, but I don't think anybody in the NFC is really built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, to be honest. Matt Henry's in the chat, says bear down. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. But Caleb Williams is getting better, Matt. Each and every week he seems to be improving a little bit better. Maybe he won't be the biggest bust as everybody's saying, but to be determined. Who do the Bears got this week? I haven't really looked at this week's schedule moving forward. I actually still got week 4 timeline on the bottom here. Let me look at the Bears schedule. Who they got this week? Because I believe the Vikings play the Packers, right? So the Bears play the Rams this week. This could be a good get right game for both teams. Rams are struggling. Bears are kind of struggling. It'd be a good get right game. It'd be a good game to watch. See what team really comes out and is really hungry, right? James Frank says Sam Darnold is playing different wearing that purple. Sam Darnold is playing with confidence. One of the biggest things in the NFL is confidence, and I think Sam Darnold just has confidence right now. He has confidence that, hey, I can F up, but my leash is pretty long. I'm gonna have to get I'm gonna have to F up pretty bad to get Astronaut Boy back here, right? Because JJ's out, and I don't even know who the Vikings backup quarterback is. Like, I know they didn't sign anybody after old JJ got hurt, but is it Nick Mullins still? I don't even know who the backup quarterback is. Yeah, Nick Mullins and Brett Rypien are the 2 quarterbacks, and Brett Rypien isn't going to come and save the day anytime soon. Nick Mullins, we saw how terrible he was the last 3 games of the season last season. Sam Darnold is playing with confidence. He knows he is not getting pulled anytime soon. And Laura says purple was the color Sam Darnold needed in his life. Yeah, he is. Pepe says, I believe the Vikings because of Flores. Miami chose the wrong path. Flores has been a great defensive coordinator so far this season, right? I believe the Vikings have I have the stats here somewhere, I thought. They have the second best run defense in the NFL so far this year. So when a team is one-dimensional versus you, it's kind of easy to win a few games, right? Angel Gonzalez in the chat says, "Hey, what's up? Let's go." What's up, Angel? Hope you have a grand old day. And James says, "I don't know if anybody in the AFC could take him out. Probably not, but best bet would be the Jets, Bills, or Steelers, I think." Casey says the Bears line play like they're playing at a Diddy party. Oh, when will Diddy ever get old? Probably never. Edwin Butler's in the chat says, "Go Bills. Go Bills." Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are flexing still. I think they're still, yep. Josh Allen just scored another touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. Edwin, live it up, because the Buffalo Bills are going to come crashing back down to reality when they come and play a real team here pretty soon. But right now, they're playing good. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL. Live it up, buddy. Love it, love it, love it, love it. James says, "Yep, Sam Darnold has swag. Now he never had that before." And to be honest, James, when you look at Sam Darnold, when you look at his team in New York, who did he have around him? Did he have anybody like a JJ or a Jordan Addison or a Aaron Jones or a defense? Like, he didn't have anybody around him. Even in Carolina, yeah, they had they had DJ Moore. But other than that, Brian Burns, that's about it. But even then, he was third string quarterback? Never really got a chance in Carolina. San Francisco, he was there to be a backup, a 100%. And yeah, it's just confidence, baby. It's confidence. A little bit of swag, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Boom, 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 right? Robert Trees in the chat says, "Go Lions." Go Lions, go Lions. Who the Lions got this week? I watched the Arizona Cardinal game. I was not impressed by it. They had the Seahawks Monday Night Football. We all know what happened the last time they played the Seahawks. Overtime, Robert. Overtime. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared. But back to buy or sell, guys. Back to buy or sell. Hang on. Edwin says, "We don't have the refs on our side, unlike the Chiefs." We'll see y'all November 17th. The Buffalo Bills have the Kansas City Chiefs number in the regular season. They do, Edwin. I'll give it to you. Actually, if I go to my V2 playoff predictor right now, I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs that particular week. But it doesn't matter in November unless you're a Raiders fan. And then it matters. But the next buy or sell on this beautiful Wednesday edition here, guys, of Man Hour NFL Talk. We're live every Monday through Friday, 2:30 East Coast time, right here at Facebook.com and, of course, YouTube.com as well. If you guys are going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you got Spotify as well. And, of course, you can always watch the clips over at YouTube.com/Man Hour. But on this next buy or sell, 3-0 edition, the Seattle Seahawks are now 3-0. The Seattle Seahawks have kind of shocked some people. Seattle Seahawks right now are first place in a struggling NFC West. So, guys, buy or sell, are the Seattle Seahawks now the front runners in the NFC West? When we look at the NFC West, I had the I had the Seattle Seahawks as a third seed to end the season. I did not have them as a losing record. I believe it was 9-8, but I had the Rams and 49ers kind of running away with the division with 10 and 11 wins respectively. Now that still could happen, because when you look at the Seahawks wins so far this season, they played the Denver Broncos at home, which now the Denver Broncos aren't looking too shabby, but on the surface, that first one's 26-20, the Broncos, what? Okay. And then they beat the Patriots at New England, 23-20. Patriots aren't very good. Yes, it was a coast-to-coast game, 1 o'clock game, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I get it, all the excuses, but they're still the Patriots. But then Sunday, they played the Miami Dolphins, beat them down physically dominated them on both sides of the ball. I get it. No Tua. Skylar Thompson went down second quarter. I get it. Whatever, right? Guys, but the Seattle Seahawks have been putting up some fairly impressive numbers, to be honest. Geno Smith right now is leading the NFL with 787 yards passing. He has 3 touchdowns. Charbonnet, which is a backup running back, has 141 yards so far this season. Kenneth Walker the third should be back next week, if not the week after that. DK Metcalf has 262 yards receiving so far this season. And Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett have all said, and to be honest, we're not even clicking on offense yet. They do have a new offensive coordinator. They have a new head coach. And Geno Smith has a new contract. But with being 3-0, let's just be honest, they really haven't played anybody yet. Broncos, meh. Patriots, meh. Miami Dolphins without Tua and Skylar Thompson, meh. That defense for the Miami Dolphins, I don't even know what's wrong with them. They're just out there on somewhere. Now, the Seahawks do have some true tests coming up. On Monday, they do play at Detroit on Monday Night Football. They do play a decent New York Giants team the following week. And then the week after that, they're at home on Thursday Night Football taking on the San Francisco 49ers. So the next 3 weeks will be really, really telling for the Seattle Seahawks. But buy or sell, are they now the front runners in the NFC West? I got to sell it. I have to sell it. If we're based off of week 3 going forward, I have to sell it. Because we know the 49ers are going to get healthy. We know the Rams are going to get healthy. Hell, the Arizona Cardinals are getting better each and every week. I understand that you said you haven't clicked yet. But the damn near 800 yards passing so far this season, first in the NFL, a backup running back in Charbonnet is running for 41 yards, and your defense is playing lights out. I say you're clicking right now. I say you're clicking. So I got to sell it. I have to sell it right now that the Seahawks are the front runners of the NFC West. Now, next Wednesday, if they go into Detroit, Motor City of America, Ford Field, and they beat the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football on the road, my tune might change a little bit. Might. Still think the Lions are a little overhyped and overrated so far this season, but to be determined. About to say right now, I have to sell it. So, guys, buy or sell are the Seattle Seahawks front runners in the NFC West right now. Right now. Kaylee Johnson says buy. Buy. Laura says buy. And James Frank says Geno Smith is him. When we thought of Geno Smith coming out of West Virginia, right? Would we ever thought Geno Smith was going to be him? I thought Geno Smith would be a good 4 or 5 year quarterback. That's about it, and kind of right off into the sunset. We never hear from him again. He has definitely found a home in Seattle, and he is doing some good things. Robert Cheese says, look at Detroit wins, loss on primetime games. We don't lose on primetime games, baby. You're right. And James also said Detroit Lions are the dogs in the NFC North. They all play with such heart. They are fun to watch. There's a reason why the NFC North, which was the NFC Central, used to be called the Black and Blue Division when the Bucks were like in there. Because they literally played with heart. That's all they had. The teams weren't very good, but they played with some heart. They went out there and played with some heart. Pepe says, are the Steelers are for real? Pepe, we literally just talked about this about a half hour ago. I'll post a clip for you tomorrow morning. But yeah, the Steelers are for real. The Steelers are for real. If you scroll back into the chat here, I said, are the Steelers for real? We saw buy. We saw buy. Oh, guess what? We saw another buy. Where's it at? We saw buy. There it is. Another buy. Another buy. People love them some Pittsburgh Steelers, and I love me some Pittsburgh Steelers too right now. I actually think the Steelers are going to go 9-1 to start the season. Their only loss coming to the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, this was back in August when I made these picks. Dallas Cowboys might be a win now too. The Steelers might be going 10-0. But slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. It's tough to go undefeated. But he says, hey, brother, says Pepe, can you shout out my friend Eric? He is a delusional Steelers fan. Eric, what is up, man? Eric, root for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Eric, don't listen to Pepe. Yes, he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. But right now, your Pittsburgh Steelers, Eric, are damn good. I'd said this back in June, July, and August. I said, I love the signing of Russ. I love the signing of Justin Fields. All they have to do is manage the game and not suck, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go to the playoffs. Well, guess what? Justin Fields is managing the game and not sucking. His stats will lead you to, oh, he's sucking. He only has 518 yards passing, 27th in the NFL, only 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 47.4. But he's not sucking. He's managing the game. He's being an average quarterback. If Justin Fields up his play a little bit, let's say the Steelers start averaging 25 points a game, and the defense is still first overall defense, giving up only 29 yards per game. 5th in passing, 518 yards a game. 2nd in rushing, 71.3 yards per game. Slow it down, baby. Steelers are them. Steelers are them. And James says the Steelers will crash out soon. They will crash out soon. They will struggle the last part of the season. If they start 10-0, 9-1, they might end up like the Eagles, but they're still going to make the playoffs. Still going to make the playoffs. They'll be all right. And James says, do you remember the last time Steelers went 10-0? I do not. Did the Steelers ever start the season off 10-0? I don't know. I'm not a Steelers connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm assuming they probably lost the last 6 games of the season and has a first round playoff exit. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just assuming. So James, if you could inform me what happened the last time the Steelers went 10-0, let me know. I'll be glad to put that knowledge in the old banky back there. In the old banky. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Buy or sell is out. We are out. Kansas City Chiefs are still them. Best team in the NFL. Tomorrow, we got Factor Crap. Factor Crap, and of course, you got Thursday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Football Giants. Tomorrow, guys. Live, raw, uncut NFL talk. 2:30 East Coast time. Until then, we out.